Welcome, everybody, to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show featuring Dr. Carolyn Dean. Join Dr. Dean for the next 2 hours along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders, also known as Ginny Almighty. Join Dr. Dean as she shares with us her vast range of experience, knowledge, talent, and wisdom. Phone lines are now open, and we'll be taking your calls from around the world and here in the USA.
Welcome everyone, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We're so glad to be with you this evening. All of our new listeners that have joined us in our new venue here at Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, as well as all of our other listeners who's been with us for years and years, knowing that you can be with us here on the show, you can be with us on YouTube, and you can also chat with us through the chat line. And I think we've worked out all the details about that, so we should have a wonderful time communicating fully with each other all show long. And of course, the person that you want to be communicating with more than anyone in the whole wide world is Dr. Carolyn Dean. And why is that? Because she is the most amazing woman when it comes, doctor, naturopath, herbalist, acupuncturist, author, leader, visionary, committed, consistent, clarity. I mean, I could just go on. All the very best words in the whole wide world describe Dr. Carolyn Dean. And she's with us this evening for 2 hours. And she's going to share the best stuff with you about how to take care of your health, your vitality, and your well-being using natural substances. And aren't we just excited about that? We are one with nature. We are one with the ecosphere, the ecosphere of this world. We are stardust. We are golden. And we are in that union able to really function optimally by relying on the resources that nature has for us. And of course, if we come into a situation where we don't have nature on our side and we don't have those assets, then we don't have the same high performance. And that's what we want to do, is we want to have incredible high performance, and we want to have that great vitality and well-being that natural medicine involves, and also nutrition offers. Dr. Carolyn Dean is, as I said, a medical doctor. She's also a naturopath and an herbalist, and just the most all-around amazing woman in the whole wide world. We're so happy that you're with us this evening. So before I bring her on, let me just say that Dr. Dean does not give medical advice on her show, but she will tell you what she would do if she were in your circumstances, as you may choose to describe those to her through either our chat line or our phone-in our call-in mechanism. So we will bring her on now, our very own and most popular, most sublime, most delightful, most delicious Dr. Carolyn Dean. There are the children.
There you've got the children to come. A little bit scratchy, but we can tell that they're there and they're happy to be there. Thank you. And thank you for the introduction, Jenny. Let's get right into it. We've got dozens of questions in the mailbox. This topic today is very important. It is about calcium, magnesium, and vitamin K2, but I want to start with our basic announcements. We want you to keep referring your practitioners so they can help other of their patients avail themselves of our incredible products. We want you to use your referral candy when you tell people about our products so that everyone can get a discount. We want you to get your blood testing done. This is the home blood test kit. It's 4 different tests that are very important to get. We have a number of questions today about vitamin D and people wondering, well, how do I know? What do I take? You get your testing done. And the test costs $214, but by paying for the test, you get $214 in coupons for our products. So you aren't paying anything for your test. So it's totally a win-win for you. Our magnesium deficiency survey continues, and it just shocks us that between 60 and 70% of people, going up to 74%, some of the numbers here of people who complete the test are experiencing anxiety, insomnia, cramps, heart palpitations, and restless legs, and headaches and migraines. And you don't necessarily have to experience those symptoms. You can take magnesium. Our nutrients article is out, published in the journal Nutrients. It's called Circulating Ionized Magnesium as a Measure of Supplement Bioavailability. And we have found from it that ionized magnesium testing is the best marker. So the study that we funded is helping to improve the magnesium testing in healthcare, basically. And I mean, there's much more I could say about it, but we have so much to cover today. The studies did prove once and for all, when people say, well, you know, what do you mean REMAG is picometer in size? Well, it is. And the molecular size analyzer called the Zetasizer Nano proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt. The people running the test couldn't believe it, so they ran it 3 times to show that REMAG is so tiny at the magnesium ion level that it will be absorbed fully at the cellular level, as we've been telling you for many years. So that's enough. I have a lot of notes on this study that I'll share with you over and over again, so you get as excited as we are about our REMAG studies. I have to remind people about the dangers of sugar. I'm sorry. On the Orthomolecular News Service forum that I'm involved with, someone mentioned that in viral immunity, the real danger is too much added sugars. So I sent the following to the list of 50 doctors, and it's from the book that I'm working on now. It's called Total Body Immunity. And I say, sugar is the most dangerous, quote, food for the immune system. And I quoted from a 2006 article by Dr. James Hohenstein. He's since passed away. And to me, they represent the strongest indictment that I've seen against sugar and its detrimental effects on the immune system. I quote, the title is Ascorbic Acid Competes with Sugar in the Immune System. Insulin moves both sugar and ascorbic acid into cells, including the phagocytic immune white blood cells. The phagocytic cells, like leukocytes, attack and remove microbes, tumor cells, and debris from the blood. The level of ascorbic acid in leukocytes may be 80 times greater than found in plasma. Glucose and ascorbic acid are constantly competing for insulin transport, so diets high in sugar and carbohydrates will decrease the amount of ascorbic acid that enter cells and thus create undesirable effects on the immune system. Now, there's more that I put in the book, but that's shocking enough. Just think of that, Ginny. When you eat a sugar dessert, it just kicks out your vitamin C. Boom, gone. That's why you need to take vitamin C on a daily basis. Actually, at parties, when we had the foster kids having our big Christmas parties and whatnot, we had the sugar table. And on the sugar table were bottles of vitamin C ascorbic acid, and when everybody learned that it was called the antidote, the sugar antidote. And I do also, in the book, say the following. It's a quote from Dr. Thomas Levy, who was on my radio show, our radio show here, this show, March 30th this year. And he said, an interesting thing about ascorbate is that it is derived from glucose. That's a very simple molecule. Ascorbate is very close to glucose in structure. Because of that, this is what makes vitamin C superior among all the antioxidants. It uses the transporters of glucose to get into cells. So as I've said, the insulin, it even crosses the blood-brain barrier. There's not a cell in your body that does not utilize vitamin C as a primary source of electrons, donating them to glutathione, which is the most concentrated antioxidant inside your cells. But in addition to that, vitamin C as a small molecule donates 2 electrons per molecule. Most other antioxidants donate only 1, so this gives it more power. This simple chemical competition thus results in vitamin C losing its position in the cells if there's too much circulating glucose and tearing down this important antioxidant mechanism. So that is my sugar diatribe. And the COVID-19 and the war against nutrients update. Some of the doctors, again, on the orthomolecular form were very frustrated that the vitamin C information and studies were being ignored and even attacked by the media. So I wrote to these doctors, 50 doctors, I said, when the RDA is said to be only 60 milligrams, we lose our case about high-dose vitamin C before we even get started. When I was at the NIH Office of Dietary Supplements for a conference many years ago, I asked why nutrients weren't being studied for disease prevention or treatment. The answer was that their mandate, the NIH mandate, was to prevent deficiency diseases like scurvy with the minimum amount of vitamin C. Magnesium is also set low because the most commonly used magnesium is magnesium oxide, which is a laxative. So they cut it off when a certain percentage of subjects get the laxative effect. And then I said the mandate of Codex Alimentarius was to advise the lowest dose of nutrients as possible so they would not interfere with drugs. Our only hope is the public using nutrients and improving their health and realizing they have been misled. And then I reminded them that I'm funding university research and told them about the article that I just mentioned to you earlier. So that's enough of that. I'll ask Ginny if she has any comments on that before I get to her blog topic for today. Ginny, any comments?
No, but I do think it's interesting about vitamin C and sugar. So what would you say, because I've also heard you say about magnesium and sugar, as far as how much magnesium is required to metabolize the teaspoon of sugar. So how much would you, vitamin C, would you say that you need to recover from, say, a piece of chocolate cake? Just throwing it out there. Just let's make something up.
Yeah, I'd say 1,000 milligrams, actually. Sounds like a lot. Sure is higher than the RDA, but I'd say 1,000 milligrams. That's what I take, and I make Bob take. And, you know, what I'm talking about in the Total Body Immunity book is taking your food-based vitamin C, which is our whole C reset, taking 250 milligrams twice a day, but then taking an extra 1,000 to 2,000 ascorbic acid on top of that to support the adrenal glands, to help this bump the sugar out of your cells, and all the other amazing things that vitamin C can do for you. Because as you may remember from our March 30th radio show on vitamin C, and you can go to the archives and look that up. It was a great show. We had several vitamin C experts on, and they reminded us that all mammals, except humans, and I think there's one other mammal, all mammals make their own vitamin C from glucose. That's why they're so close. They make their own vitamin C. And a mammal at, whatever, 100 to 200 pounds of weight should be making 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And that's why Linus Pauling, he set his standard at 10,000. Now, I don't go that far. I mean, I appreciate all the research and everything, but I think when people have their magnesium and their other minerals sorted out, and their B vitamins, and they take their restructure and their realign with the precursors to glutathione. You don't have to depend on vitamin C to be the only antioxidant in the body. Magnesium is a super antioxidant. So we try to give people the balance so they're not taking extremely high doses of supplements, except for magnesium, of course, because magnesium is responsible for 80% of known metabolic functions. So why wouldn't you want to have as much vitamin C as possible on board? So there. Will I move on? I guess I will move on.
Yes, thank you, sweetheart.
Ginny?
Sorry. Yep, here I am.
Okay. Ginny's topic and blog are at
I'd like to ask a question.
Who was that, Ginny?
We'll come back to the questions here in a little bit. We'll open up the mics as soon as Dr. Dean presents today's topic. So hang in there. We'll be right back with you.
Yeah. This is not a free-for-all. Ginny's in charge. Okay. The topic that you can find at drcarolyndeanlive.com is calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. The questions we were asked, the mailbag, just floods of questions. We'll probably answer all the questions people have as we go through this, and I'll try to skim through this blog because it's good. It's a nice long blog, lots of information. Please find it. It's 2 or 3 down at the homepage at drcarolyndeanlive.com. So we start off with someone is saying, I'm taking 20,000 units of vitamin D because my doctor said vitamin D was low. I just got out of the hospital with a kidney stone. What do you think caused that? And of course, it can be the high dose vitamin D, pulling in too much calcium, and not having enough magnesium to deal with the overload of calcium or to metabolize the vitamin D, because you need magnesium to metabolize vitamin D. If you take high doses of vitamin D, then you're going to use up your magnesium and cause side effects, including the buildup of calcium in the body. We'll get to the dosage of vitamin D, but it's more like 5,000 units a day and on a daily basis instead of once a week or once a month even. So those are the basics of dosage and frequency of taking vitamin D. Someone else, a quote, I have osteoporosis and I'm taking large doses of calcium. My joints are swollen and sore. My bone density test is worse. So that's telling us that you don't want to take high doses of calcium. What you want to take is 600 milligrams of calcium a day in your diet and or your supplements, 600 milligrams. There is an online and mobile app called Chronometer, chronometer.com. You can type in the foods you're eating and find out how much calcium you're taking. Stick with 600 milligrams. And you absolutely need magnesium in order to make your bones. It's difficult to say what word. We can't say bones are flexible, but they can't be brittle. Bones are brittle when all you have is calcium. So you need your magnesium to make your bones more supple. Third quote, I can't eat green veggies because of my blood thinner. My osteopenia is worse, and I'm worried I'll end up with osteoporosis. Now, that implies the person's not getting their calcium, their magnesium, or their vitamin K2, all of which are important for your bones. And so the blog goes on, do you recognize any of the above? Do you have a laundry list of evidence that you aren't feeling well, even though you're taking high doses of several supplements? And your doctor doesn't necessarily know any of this information about balancing your nutrients. I never learned it in medical school. It's not on the curriculum. Continuing, let's say you have your vitamin D tested. Did you know that vitamin D levels are connected to your magnesium, calcium, and vitamin K2? But if your vitamin D levels are low, chances are that your doctor will give you high doses of vitamin D and not tell you about the other nutrients. So we've created a huge problem with this high-dose vitamin D prescribing and getting people into lots of problems, even more so than the high-dose calcium prescribing that occurred, that's probably still occurring. But the research now is showing that women who take high-dose calcium are at higher risk for heart disease because they're calcifying their arteries and their joints. Why isolating each nutrient is an issue? Yes, it's as I'm saying, high-dose calcium was the vitamin of the day. Was the nutrient of the day, and now it's high-dose vitamin D. They really can't seem to balance it out. Vitamin K2, Dr. Weston Price, he discovered the X factor, which turned out to be vitamin K2. K2 helps guide calcium into the bones where it's needed instead of leaving it circulating to calcify blood vessels and soft tissues. And Ginny then puts the quotes down and discusses them, and I've already done that. And this business about green veggies, because of blood thinner, the way some blood thinners work is to kind of destroy your vitamin K2. And because K2 helps clot the blood naturally. So we've run into a lot of problems with vitamin K2 deficiency in that regard, even though the blood clotting factor is K1 and the factor you need for diverting your calcium to your bones is K2. I don't know how deeply I'm going to be able to get into that, but Dr. Mercola has good information on vitamin K2, so you can Google that. So I'm going to dive right into the blog, the questions on the blog arising from the blog, because there's so many of them, and they do cover the waterfront. So you'll get a lot of your answers here. Someone writes in, all 4 of my electrolytes are low. And who's this? Jane. Jane says, I'm low via hair mineral analysis. So right away I say, electrolytes are too dynamic to consider just a hair analysis. I'd go for the blood tests to find out what's really going on. And she's asking, will Remag lower my sodium and potassium further? No, of course not. Magnesium helps balance the other minerals. when your potassium is low, then your magnesium can be low. It's very difficult to get your potassium to balance out without proper amounts of magnesium. Now, there's something similar going on with the sodium, but potassium for sure. So you absolutely need your magnesium to balance out your other electrolytes. Unfortunately, magnesium is not even on your electrolyte panel. It is in a hair mineral analysis, but I have a lot of concerns with the hair mineral analysis because the way the hair is taken from the scalp, it's already 3 months old, so it's not telling you what's going on today. And then she says, recently I had oral surgery. I was on antibiotics. So part of what I'm struggling with is establishing my intestinal bacteria. If I take probiotics, I feel bad. If I don't take probiotics, I feel bad. I can't seem to get back to baseline since the extractions. Okay, so what I'd say there is to look at my yeast book, Reset the Yeast Connection, and it sounds like Jane here is too toxic to detox. So she'd start with bentonite. This is what I would do, bentonite and psyllium seed to help absorb toxins that are just hanging out and ready to kind of get overloaded if you begin starving your yeast or feeding it the good bacteria. Then I'd be adding the Pico Silver and Flora Revive. In the latest version of Reset the Yeast Connection, I'm talking about a very basic yeast protocol using Pico Silver and Flora Revive and perhaps bentonite so that a person doesn't have to be so strict or include all the antifungal herbs. So we'll see how that approach goes for Jane to slowly get her microbiome under control. Someone's asking about sun poisoning. What I would recommend for sun poisoning, and she's not giving, Karen here is not giving any details. So I just look at the definition of sun poisoning. They say it's fever, nausea, vomiting, fatigue, dizziness, red skin rash, or chills. Seek medical attention. Now, that's a sunburn. So sun poisoning can be just a really bad sunburn, but some people are actually saying sun poisoning is an allergic reaction to the sun when exposed to sunlight for the first time in the early spring or during winter vacation. I don't know that you can be allergic to the sun. I think that's really kind of hyperbole. So I would say, because of our experience with people who say that they can go on vacation and lie out in the sun and feel worse, I would say it's possibly due to magnesium deficiency, where the sun it's going to give you a lot of vitamin D. I've heard that it can be like 10,000 IU equivalent for, an hour or so in the sun. And what you need to convert sunshine vitamin D into active vitamin D is magnesium. So if you go in the sun and you don't have your vitamin D and it can't be metabolized, supposedly you can develop a sunburn or, quote, sun poisoning. Now, we do know, Ginny has said this many times, that people on our products, not just the Remag, but on our products, they don't burn. I mean, I've been out tanning my legs, my torso and my legs, and I'm not burning. And I don't stay out long, but I used to go nicely red and then it would turn brown. So I know it's true that if you have the proper nutrients, your skin is resilient. It's not going to burn. And if you're taking your Remag, you won't have sun poisoning, whatever that is. Someone is saying in the next question, in addition to Remite, I take 50,000 units of vitamin D3 plus vitamin K2, 200 micrograms every other day. It has helped alleviate psoriasis on my leg. Reading your latest blast, I'm not concerned I'm taking too much D3 and perhaps depleting magnesium. So this is Doug asking. It's like, Doug, absolutely. You have read my work. You should know that that is just so inappropriate. You're medicalizing this vitamin D3. 50,000 units every other day. I mean, that's just an enormous amount. Psoriasis tends to be yeast overgrowth and the toxins from yeast. I'm happy that it seemed to go away, but yes, you're going to be pulling down your magnesium, adding so much calcium to your body that can be precipitating in soft tissues. So he continues, I do not wish to take an expensive blood test for D3. Well, you better take a blood test, because heaven forbid how much you've gotten. Get our Grassroots Health test kit. It's $214 that you get back in products, and you do take our products, so you're paying nothing to find out what you've done here. And basically, as I said earlier, it's important to get your blood levels so you know how much to take. Now let me jump to the dosage. It's a good time to say here. Vitamin D researchers, including Grassroots Health, agree that the dosage of vitamin D should be based on the blood levels of the vitamin, and they've come up with a vitamin D calculator to help you figure out how much you require to reach a certain level. For the average individual, 40 to 60 nanograms per mil is desirable. But if you want to avoid breast cancer or breast cancer recurrence, you will need to strive for a higher level above 60 nanograms per mil. Now, I introduced this testing because I wanted to make sure people were getting enough of these nutrients, especially the vitamin D. So that's where we started working with Grassroots Health. And what did I find out? In September of last year, my vitamin D level was 19 nanograms, 19. And the Endocrine Society defines vitamin D deficiency as occurring below 20 nanograms, vitamin D insufficiency below 30 nanograms. I had been recommending 40 milligrams, so I wasn't even near what I was recommending. So I did, what did I do? I think 5,000 units for a couple months, and then, I should do 10,000. Then I went to 20,000, then I went back to 10,000. So I don't know exactly how much ended up in my, I ended up taking probably a balance of 10,000 units a day. And yesterday I found out that my vitamin D level is 53. So I'm right in the nice range of 40 to 60. I don't have a history of breast cancer, so I'll probably stay with 10,000 units for another 6 months, do my testing again, and see if I'm higher. If I'm higher, I might just go to 5,000. So that's what you're going to do. And that's what Doug is going to do. He's going to go to our website, click on the research link at the top, order his test kit, find out how much vitamin D he's got, the omega-3 fatty acids, the magnesium, and TSH for the thyroid. Okay, someone is asking about oxalates and magnesium. I've been advised to pursue a low oxalate diet because of a history of oxalate-based kidney stones. I noticed that many of the high oxalate foods I'm advised to avoid are also the ones I would need in order to get dietary magnesium. I'm also taking a large supplement of vitamin D daily. Thus, I suspect I should be taking a magnesium supplement. Do you agree? So this is from Lynn. Lynn, you have to get your testing. Go to RNAreset.com, click on the research link, order your test kit so you know what you're doing exactly. Now, in terms of oxalate-based kidney stones, oxalate-based kidney stones are calcium oxalate. So it's the calcium that you have to look at, not avoiding good foods necessarily. In Magnesium Miracle book, I say the following: kidney stones and magnesium deficiency share the same list of causes, including a diet high in sugar, alcohol, and coffee, and oxalates too. An important animal study shows that a high dietary intake of fructose from a high diet in fruit or high fructose corn syrup sweeteners significantly increases kidney calcification, especially when dietary magnesium is low. So people who ingest lots of dairy, drink a lot of milk, take calcium supplements are going to be the ones that get the stones. When you stop dietary calcium, when you stop the calcium supplements and take generous doses of magnesium, vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin K2, you not only prevent kidney stones, you actually help dissolve pre-existing stones. Now, I don't know how much vitamin D Len is taking. What he would do is do the blood test. If his blood test is, high normal vitamin D, maybe cut back to 250 to 2,500 to 5,000 units a day of vitamin D, taking it every day. It works better if you take it every day. And about the magnesium involvement with these kidney stones, magnesium helps dissolve the calcium, but there's a compound called magnesium oxalate, which is not metabolized, but excreted in the urine. And I couldn't find the research on it. Maybe it's another piece of research we have to undertake. But if you have too many oxalates, what's to stop your Remag magnesium from binding that oxalate and excreting it in the urine? So that's why I think magnesium probably works against the calcium oxalate stones. Someone is asking what's the proper standard level of calcium one should have. This person's level was 9.6. She's been diagnosed with osteopenia and high risk of fracture. And the endocrinologist, instead of recommending magnesium, is suggesting the biphosphonates, which create brittle bones, and which means that your dentist won't do heavy dental work on your jaws because there's so much deterioration of teeth and bones with these, I think it's bisphosphonates. She said, I bought some Recalcia, but since I have normal calcium, what else can I do? I use Remag, Remite, Pico Silver. My vitamin D level is 57, which is in that 40 to 60 range. I used to take 5,000 units every day, but my primary care is warning me to take it 3 times a week since my vitamin D levels seem high. So you want to look at grassrootshealth.net and find out why they are proving that 40 to 60 is actually a good level. And also, if, as I said, if people have a family history of breast cancer or are trying to avoid a recurrence of breast cancer, above 60 is indicated. As long as you're taking your Remag, you'll be fine. Now, I am going to say that a level of 9.6, it is high normal. If it's calcium, if it's above 9.9, you have to look at hyperparathyroidism as a potential for creating that high calcium. I know you say you're using Remag, Remite, Pico Silver, but also how much are you taking? Take enough to balance out your calcium and get your calcium from your diet, do the chronometer, and find out how many milligrams of calcium you're getting a day, and just keep it around 600. Someone is asking, tell me the optimal daily dose of vitamin D. Differing opinions. Yes, there are, because different doses help different people reach different levels. So, as I said before, get your blood levels, and Grassroots Health will put your level in a graph and show you how much more vitamin D you need to create a level that is optimal for you, which is, as I said, 40 to 60 nanograms. Vitamin D dosage, someone, yes, so we already went over that a few times. Someone is asking about vitamin K2 and calcification. Been taking Remag 2 teaspoons a day, down from 3 teaspoons for a few years. Also Remite 1 teaspoon. I have had calcification problems for years with Heberden nodes and bone spurs in the neck and the foot. Been taking 5,000 units vitamin D for years. My level is 77. I take vitamin D with K2. So yes, 77, she doesn't say how old she is, but 77 may be pulling in too much calcium. My chiropractor thinks I may not be getting enough K2. Don't know if you're taking any. In our vitamin D3 K2 product that we're coming out with, that will include our RNA powder along with it as a catalyst. We're putting in 100 micrograms of vitamin K2 along with 5,000 units of vitamin D. 1 to 200 micrograms of vitamin K2 seem to be the standard dosage. But I would think the vitamin D, personally, I would drop back the vitamin D and get my level more down to 60 of the vitamin D. Personally, I would take 200 micrograms of vitamin K2, go back to 3 teaspoons of Remag, and get Remag lotion and start gently rubbing it into those areas to start to reverse that calcification. Someone here talking about essential tremors. Can a deficiency in any of these nutrients cause essential tremors? I'm very shaky and my muscles become extremely rigid. So the rigid muscles means to me magnesium deficiency. So absolutely taking saturation levels of Remag, 2 to 4 teaspoons of Remag, along with just the 600 milligrams of calcium in your diet. And the K2 would be important as well. Vitamin D and essential tremors. I think I've read something about that. So it's a matter of getting your vitamin D levels with the grassrootshealth.net test. What you pay for the test, you get back in our supplements. So you're really not paying anything, and you'll get really important information. Find out here in Susan's case if she needs to take vitamin D as well. And a question about insomnia, waking up at 3 a.m. Okay, so let's look at the time cycle in Chinese medicine. What's happening at 3 a.m.? It's called the Chinese organ body clock. Let me see, they give everything except 3 a.m. I'm just looking at the clock. Okay. 1 to 3, okay. 1 to 3 a.m. the time of the liver, time when the body should be asleep. During this time, toxins are released from the body and fresh new blood is made. If you find yourself waking during this time, you could have too much yang energy or problems with liver or detoxification pathways. This is also the time of anger, frustration, and rage. So personally, I would be doing my realign to help detoxify, and look up the yeast book perhaps, but I would go for the realign. She says, I have Hashimoto's for 15 years. I'm 67 years old. She says she has heat intolerance. I would check my thyroid. You can do the grassroots health test at rnareset.com under research and get your TSH. Sometimes Hashimoto's will bounce between hyperthyroid, make you hot, and hypothyroid, make you cooler. She says she wakes up in a panic feeling hot. She can't tolerate heat at all. Now, the thyroid is responsible for temperature regulation. So is magnesium. I don't know if Joe here or Connie Joe is taking any of our products, but the Remite to balance the thyroid, make your own hormones with the minerals in Remite, Remag to support your temperature regulation. She said, obviously it causes anxiety as well as fear. All seems to be part of the insomnia. Well, it all can be part of magnesium deficiency. Magnesium is the most important nutrient for insomnia. I know this is a long hour. Hopefully I can finish up here, Ginny, in a few. I would like to know your opinion about calcium and EMFs, the calcium via the voltage-gated calcium channels. What you can do here, Debbie, is email our customer service support at rnareset.com and ask them to just email you the section on EMFs in my Magnesium Miracle book. It does explain that. Debbie does say that her hypersensitivity is under control using Remag, and she takes no additional calcium. Is this wise, or does it factor into this process at all? Absolutely factors in. So you'll get the notes I have in my book to help you kind of learn more about it. And someone's asking about calcium and taking a supplement. So I think we've answered that. You go to the Chronometer, CRONO meter app, chronometer.com, and find out how much calcium you are getting in your food. Someone is concerned about taking too much calcium with magnesium. Asking if the teaspoon of Recalcia that she takes will interfere with the absorption of the teaspoon of Remag. No. Think about it this way. If you look at any of the deep green leafy vegetables, what they contain calcium and magnesium. They aren't separated in the food. And I like to say our minerals are like the food that you should be eating. So there's no interference on that level. She's also taking a teaspoon of Remite. She thought that Remag would enhance her ability to absorb calcium. Not so much absorb it, but direct it to the bones and teeth. I like the Remag, she says, because my blood pressure is normal now without medication. So yes, if what you do is, again, Ron's asking this, use a chronometer, find out how much calcium you are getting, and just add the amount of Recalcia you may need to make it 600 milligrams. And another person asking about supplements. Is it okay to take that much magnesium? She's taking them from different multiples and this and that. Well, the thing about taking your Remag, 1/4 of a teaspoon is only 75 milligrams. Magnesium in other supplements is not as well absorbed at all. So, I mean, personally, I wouldn't be taking 700 milligrams of calcium in a multiple because it's not going to be absorbed fully and it can precipitate. I think the best thing is to read my book on Remite and Recalcia and get more specific answers. And that book is at drcarolyndeanlive.com under books. And someone was told not to use vitamin K due to having a stent in the heart. And I'm afraid I can't answer that. I think it's not so much the stent as you're probably on a blood thinner. And people are told not to use vitamin K2 if they're on blood thinners. But that applies to vitamin K1, not K2. So it's very frustrating when people ask that question because vitamin Ks are sort of jammed together. So I can't be more specific. I'll try to be more specific in my Total Body Immunity book. Someone is saying about their Remag and Remite protocol after a year, got rid of her AFib, but then her doctor gave her levothyroxine, a synthetic thyroid hormone, pushed her into AFib again because the dosage was too high. And that is something that people should be taking notice of. If you are taking thyroid hormone replacement, it can speed up your heart and throw people into AFib. So she's wondering, do you suggest that I get some K2 with Remag and Remite protocol? What dosage? I don't know if that's getting too medical, but what I would say is work with your Remite more to improve the thyroid instead of taking a synthetic. Hank, you can get in touch with customer service because I'm getting near the end of the hour and I'm not able to give you enough of an answer. So, Ginny, I think there are actually a couple of more questions, but I think I better stop here. Okay?
Yes, absolutely. No, that's an incredible whack of information for the first hour, Carolyn, and I'm sure it's going to be so helpful to so many people because there is a lot of discernment that's needed to really peer into these situations and see how they can be remedied. So thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And again, I just go back to my standard statement that is, I just don't know of any other doctor that's going to spend this much time on a radio show to really sincerely review and offer this kind of opportunity for people to tweak their formulas and understand what is that's happening for them so that they can have an opportunity to change or again be testing. And I do agree with reinforcing that idea of testing. I mean, there's just nothing better than knowing, and a test is going to reveal that. You don't have to guess.
Yes, it's very obvious. When people are trying to juggle their minerals and their vitamin D, you can't just make it up. And now that we know our test lab, we're happy with it. I'm satisfied with what I'm finding out for myself, and we really want people to avail themselves of this opportunity to get their test for free and find out if what you've been doing is helping your blood levels. And the magnesium test we have is a whole blood red blood cell test, so it's even better than what people are generally getting. So please get the testing.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. Very good. Okay, so in the next hour, what we're going to do, Carolyn, in addition to hearing your wonderful discernment and wisdom throughout the show, we're going to be accepting phone calls. And the way you would do that is to call into the station at 646-558-8656. And then you have to put in an ID number. And that ID number is 883695. 3587. And of course, that's on the Dream Visions Radio Network, and it's on our chat line. Again, 646-558-8656. And then it's ID 8836953587. And you'll be able to get in and talk directly with Carolyn Dean about the things that are important to you. So we'll take a quick station break, and then we'll be back with hour 2. Hang in there, everybody.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with host Ginny Sanders, right after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com. That's drcarolyndean.com.
Did you know there are 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency? Magnesium deficiency is a public health crisis growing in scope and proportion. Dr. Carolyn Dean, author of The Magnesium Miracle, has identified over 65 health conditions associated with magnesium deficiency, 100 factors that lead to magnesium deficiency, and 24 reasons why magnesium deficiency occurs. Order The Magnesium Miracle today at Amazon.com and learn how to remedy this pervasive condition.
Do you have questions about your health? Are you wondering about alternatives? Do you ever wish you could have 5 minutes with a doctor you can trust? Someone who is an internationally recognized authority in the field of natural medicine? Meet award-winning doctor, naturopath, and best-selling author of The Magnesium Miracle, Carolyn Dean, MD, ND. Hear a wealth of information designed to empower listeners and callers to discover how to improve health, vitality, and well-being through a variety of safe strategies and nutritional options. Dr. Carolyn Dean Live. Shows can be heard every Monday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern, with weekly live shows, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network.
Natural health, vitality, and well-being. Yes, everyone wants it, but not everyone is sure how to achieve it. Dr. Carolyn Dean's Completement Formulas are more than just dietary supplements. They're whole foods and picometer minerals designed to complete your nutrition, not just supplement it. Experience the difference Dr. Dean's formulas make. Visit RNAreset.com to learn more. That's RNARESET.com.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. With more than 40 years at the forefront of holistic studies, Omega is known the world over as a trusted source for integrated approaches to personal growth and social change. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
We return now to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show, along with her host, cohort, and good buddy, Ginny Sanders. Phone lines are open during live broadcast.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to Hour 2 here on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. We're with Dr. Carolyn Dean in the second part of our show. And we're here with also all of our wonderful callers who've been listening this first hour. And if you have a question or comment with Dr. Dean, all you have to do is hit *9. *9 on your keypad is going to give me a little blue hand, and it's going to tell me that you're on the phone waiting, and then I'm going to be able to put you on the line with Dr. Dean in the second hour. Also, you've got our chat line here on the station that you can send messages to, and we've got other questions coming in through the chat line, and also our leftover questions from the mailbag. So we have a very full hour. So Carolyn, are you back? Are you ready to go?
I'm back.
You're back. Okay, very good. All right, excellent. Okay, and I think one of the callers mentioned that you sound a little muted, Carolyn, so maybe adjust your microphone just a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Very
I
good.
will speak up.
Very good. All right. So should we take some phone calls? Do you want to do that kind of thing? You want to go over chat line? What would you like to do?
Probably phone calls, Jenny.
Okay, very good. Excellent, excellent. We will come back to our chat line questions here in just a minute, but let's go out to area code 647. 647, you're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Yes. Hey, everybody. It's Claire, and I have a simple question. I'm
Very
so
good.
excited. Yay. I've got my new minerals. I've got the zinc and the potassium, and I know you've talked about dosing potassium and why you can only say this on the label, but how do I know how much potassium to take?
Well, yes, because the FDA restricts dosage to 99 milligrams per dose, and we do have to step gingerly. But what we've been finding out is people who are on our VMAG and still having their heart palpitations and aren't making their potassium broth or eating a lot of their potassium vegetables, we found that we had to go to a product. So I tell people, if you've gotten your potassium blood levels, over time, look at your potassium in your blood test and see if you're high normal. If you're high normal, that's good. You can also use the Chronometer app and find out how much potassium you're getting in your diet. Some people are shocked to find out that they're just not eating enough. We need 4,700 milligrams of potassium just to meet the RDA. And it's intertwined with your magnesium. If you get enough magnesium, it helps absorption of your potassium. So all that to say that maybe I'll just go personal. I don't get heart palpitations anymore because I'm saturated with my REMAG, but I know if I miss a whole day's dose, then I'll start getting them. So personally, I'm just taking a teaspoon of potassium. I don't notice much difference. I might experiment with 2 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon is 4 doses. Our dosage is a 1/4 teaspoon equals to 99 milligrams, so we're staying within the FDA labeling protocols. And I had the chemist make it so concentrated that, you wouldn't have to take an ounce of potassium to get anything. And with the 400 milligrams in a teaspoon, the way it is absorbed, it's picometer size, it's so well absorbed. We consider that it's probably twice the effectiveness of other potassiums, and we're getting feedback from our customers about this. well, I used to take this other potassium, and I started taking Remag, and I don't need as much. Started taking Pico Potassium, and I don't need as much. So we're developing all that information that we can share with people. I know I haven't answered your question, but it's not dangerous to work with your potassium. I don't know if there's ever been any danger with intravenous potassium causing problems. Probably there has been. And then that information will leak down to people who think, oh my gosh, if I take too much potassium, it's going to harm me. But the danger with the potassium that required the 99 milligram limit was because of some sort of time release potassium that was made I think in the 50s. I have it in my potassium book. In the 50s, they had this terrible potassium that would make its way down into the intestines and all of a sudden dissolve and burn the intestines. And that's just not happening with any of the potassiums today, except there is one medicinal one I talk about. So it's something that you can work with. That's what I'll say.
No, that's very helpful. I know there's not a set answer, but you've given me great information. And I need to get off my rear end and either get a blood test or see what I'm missing.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe that's a test you can do. I'm actually beginning to lean toward even though I don't like needles at all and I'm very squeamish, my finger still hurts from how it was jabbed when I was like 16 and I got my finger pricked when they used to use those huge razor blades to prick your finger.
Oh.
And I still feel it, but I need to do this vitamin D test. I'm finally shamed. I want to get on board with that.
Right.
Maybe they'll test my potassium. I've never remembered any test of it.
Right. Yes, look at your blood tests. If you've had any sort of standard test, the potassium is in a regular electrolyte panel. So just start there. I'm looking up where we used to recommend people to get the RBC magnesium at requestatest.com. They do RBC potassium. And I'm surprised it's $119 or $139. So that is quite expensive. I mean, compared to we're offering people 4 different tests for only $214. So
right.
However,
yeah, go ahead.
However, we're not doing potassium, but it might be something that we could think about adding. Oh, but Ginny, does the Minerals Plus test have potassium in it? Do you know offhand?
The elements panel, I can look and see real quick, Carolyn. I can look and see.
Right. Yeah, there's besides our Claire, the vitamin D, TSH, omega-3 fatty acids, and the magnesium testing, there is a magnesium elements panel, and I was really happy to see that it had several toxic elements in the panel as well, which is helpful to people. So
it doesn't do potassium. It's magnesium, selenium, zinc, copper, and zinc-copper ratio plus all the toxic heavy metals. So it doesn't go into potassium there.
Did you take your blood test? Does it test omega-3s? Did you say that?
Yes, the 4 that we test for include the omega-3 fatty acids.
Okay.
And Claire, you get to your supplements, you get that amount back in your supplements. So
I know.
Go ahead.
All I have to do is get over the fact that I'm going to prick my finger, and it's a done deal.
Right.
I've just make a big
I've
deal
done it a few times, and it really, I know exactly what you're saying. I've gone through the same thing years ago, but this one is very easy.
I bet it's a teeny tiny little
tiny, and it's got a little injector, so it's you press it against, and you don't have to press into your own skin. You just press it against touch the injector, and then boom, it injects
do
a
it.
little. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it, Claire.
I'm going to do it. I need to know. I need to know.
Carolyn, do it. Carolyn,
Cheerleader. Now, I'm
Carolyn,
gonna do it.
Claire is right here in Charlotte. She's one of our very good customers. Claire's been with us for a long time, but she never called on the radio show.
Oh,
I'm glad you called in.
It changed my life. It's totally changed my life, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm usually too shy to call, but also I now live alone, which is great, and I can do whatever I want. So there you go. I can do what I want when I want, except for the pandemic, and except for that minor detail of a shutdown.
Yes,
I'm good to go.
Yes.
Well, Claire, our warehouse is right in Mooresville. You get that test, you call me. I'll meet you at a Starbucks or something. I'll prick your finger for you. You don't worry about that part.
Yeah, I just don't like hurting myself anymore.
That's right.
Okay.
I won't mind at all.
Okay, this was great information, and I did have a test not long ago, and I can dig that up and see what my potassium is, and I'm going to jump in there and get a free test on those things that are free through the vitamin D. What's that called? Grassroots Health. Yeah.
That's right. Good work. Very good, Claire.
It's on our website, Claire. You got to order it off our website or you don't get the discount code. So be sure to go there. And then seriously, if you need anything, just call through customer service and get a hold of me, and we'll help you out. Okay?
We'll do. And y'all shows over the last, really since I heard Robert Scott Bell and Dr. Thomas Levy, I've just gone crazy with y'all helping us get through this situation that we're in. Awesome.
Thank you, Claire. And you did great on your first call. You were
excellent
caller.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So now you can call in again.
I will.
All right.
Okay.
Very
y'all take
good.
care.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, very good. Let's go to Monica. She's in Carolyn. We have something fun here called a waiting room. So Monica's in the waiting room. So I'm going to say, Monica, are you there? Okay, where did Monica go? Uh-oh. Ginny doesn't know how to use the waiting room. Wait a minute. Monica, are you there? Now what's going on?
Maybe she went to the restroom.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Monica.
The waiting room. Wait.
Did I find her?
There she is. There she is.
Hello. Monica.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Go ahead, love.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm so glad I was able to get through. I have found you, Dr. Dean, through Dr. Christian Northrop.
Our dear Christian. And we lost you, Monica.
All right, we're going to get Monica back because Bob's going to help us do it. Bob is going to help us do it. And
let me do the next email then.
Okay.
This person says, I've been having shortness of breath for months now, and it all started when I began taking vitamin D. I felt great when I first started taking it, but 2 months later I started having shortness of breath. Could vitamin D exacerbate my magnesium deficiency and cause shortness of breath along with muscle twitches, low energy, and other symptoms? And Daniel's asking that. And yes, absolutely. I write about that a lot. You can Google my name and vitamin D and find out more or read, pretty much any of my books or listen to our radio shows. It's really sad that people aren't told that they need magnesium to metabolize their vitamin D. And when you hear, miracle stories about high dose vitamin D working, how long does it take to deplete a person's magnesium? Can I continue with the next one, Jenny?
I think we might have gotten Monica back.
Yes.
Oh, Monica.
Yes, awesome. Yay. Perfect. Thank you again. Thank you so much. I'm brand new to your work, Dr. Dean, so excuse my ignorance here. I have visited your website, and I would like to get some help on my main concern right now, which is the enamel on my teeth are disappearing.
What's disappearing, Monica?
The enamel on my teeth.
Enamel,
On your-
Carolyn.
Enamel. Yes, sorry.
On your toenails.
No, on my teeth. Like
On your
my
teeth.
teeth are.
I was hearing feet. I apologize. I was hearing feet.
That's right.
Okay. And have you been drinking a lot of lemon juice, eating citrus, getting too much dental cleaning? What do you think is going on?
I definitely think, because I've struggled with a lot of anxiety and PTSD after a very bad car accident that went misdiagnosed and all that. So I had a lot of anxiety, and I've been eating a lot of sugar. So that's definitely,
right.
for sure. And I do have, lemon, apple cider vinegar regularly. But lately, in the last, I would say this year, I have noticeably noticed a difference, and I'm not sure what I could do and if it's possible.
Well, the body wants to have enamel. The teeth want to have enamel. It's programmed to have enamel. So I just say you have to have the building blocks for your teeth. So it would be, as we talk about, taking I don't know, you've just started the products, you're just getting interested in them. So it's basically your Remag, your Remite, making sure your diet has the 600 milligrams of calcium. If it doesn't, you add some Recalcia. For the teeth, in the beginning when we started our RNA reset drops, people talked about how wonderful they were for the teeth. So you could look at our RNA reset drops as well. And just think about it in that way. Building blocks and taking away the things that are attacking your enamel. Sugar for sure. I mean, a dentist once told me, anytime you have sugar, you have to rinse your mouth, because the sugar immediately starts feeding the organisms, the bacteria that are naturally in your mouth. So if you don't do that, I mean, it's cavities and or just sort of wearing things away. Certainly the apple cider vinegar and the lemons, without rinsing your mouth or brushing your teeth after, are going to cause a problem. And people just, people just aren't told those very basic things. And also with anxiety and PTSD, there's a certain amount of reflux that people can get. And sometimes you can get, at night, you can get acid in your mouth that wears down the enamel. So working with the Remag is going to help the anxiety and the PTSD. We also do recommend, if you're interested in this sort of line of consultation, is we refer to a medical doctor who works with the conflict that creates physical symptoms in the body, because a person's brain thinks that the conflict can't be resolved. Now, all conflicts can be resolved. It's just sort of tweaking the information. Like when 100 people can have a car accident, heaven forbid, and a certain number will have a terrible result, and other people, they might not have so much. Your result of your car accident is based on past experiences. So if you had some terrible experiences, that maybe at the time you got through it, but those can build up. And then when you have the last car accident, it all comes crashing down. And if you know that, if someone guides you into, well, what happened at this age and what happened with that accident, all of a sudden you say, oh my gosh, I'm pulling all that that suppressed anxiety from the past into today and making it so much bigger than it has to be. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
So to start with, what?
Start with the products, the Remag and the Remite and the RNA Reset, and sort of sign yourself up with our customer service people. Get someone to talk with you. We can give you the name of the doctor, Dr. David Holt at turnpointhealth.com. He takes our recommendations of people, and he's just fabulous in helping people sort through the conflict.
Okay. And this Remag and Remite and the RNA Reset, I would be taking these at the same time, and or how long would I be on these for?
Forever.
Forever and ever.
Yeah, because what's happening, Monica, is people aren't getting these minerals in. So if you don't get these minerals in your food, then you have to take them as if they were food. Yes. And the RNA Reset drops, the reason why I'm right away telling you about those is they bring back the life force. And what customer service will do is direct you to one of our webinars that talks about our Radish Experiment, where we actually took the waste material from making our RNA Reset drops. We make them from barley sprouts. We squish out the barley sprouts, and the liquid is the RNA Reset. Well, the dried up barley sprouts, we use them as a fertilizer.
Oh, wow.
And after 25 days of radish life cycle, we dug the what we call mighty mash, these sprouts, into the soil of one test plot. And the other plot, we didn't do anything to it. And we planted radish seeds. After 25 days, the radishes in the RNA Reset mash, they produced 85 pounds of radishes. And the other plot, without any help, only produced 3 pounds of radishes that could be sold. And so what that means is that the predators and organisms and negative stuff that attacked the radishes that didn't have any support, they attack weak and deficient plants. Whereas the Mighty Mash made the good plot, the Mighty Mash plot, it made them invincible. And that's what we want to do with our human customers, is make them invincible.
That sounds good. And the main site is your RNAreset.com site, right?
That's right. That's right. And our customer service is support at rnareset.com. And email, someone can talk to you if you like. We're here to help you, because someone who's really focused and interested in getting their health back, taking responsibility for their health, we're there every minute. We won't tell you what to do, but we'll give you the tools for getting yourself back on track. And then you're off and flying, and then we're on to the next person. It's not, we're not your doctor. We're not there to take care of you. We're there to show you how you can take care of yourself.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, hon. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, very good. All right, we got that done. Thank you, Bob. That was wonderful. All right, very good. Again, if you have a question or comment for Dr. Dean this evening, 646-558. There you go. Bob's getting into it. Bob's our new producer. He's getting into it for sure. Okay, 646-558-8656 is the new phone number, and then 836-95-3587 is the access number. for this call. And we're working on that phone number, ladies and gentlemen, but until then, that's the way it's going to be. Now, Carolyn, we have a few things on the chitty chat I think we should talk about. And
Okay.
I just want to make sure that we're still in the position where we don't have a practitioner in Maui that you recommend. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Yes, I didn't think so.
I'm under the, what do you call it?
Yes, that's
I'm
right.
hiding. Under the radar. See, if I exposed myself here, I'd be inundated. I'm not in practice or anything, but, I can't go anywhere as a doctor without being inundated. So, no practitioners in Maui.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Okay. Let's see a couple things from the chat line. Mary said, I read that the blood test for magnesium is not accurate. It has to be hair or something else. Is that true?
No, it's not true. Well, it is true, actually. But it's not, hair can't do it. Something else can't do it. And that's actually, Mary, the basis of our research studies is we're trying to show the world that the serum magnesium test, that's the so-called standard, is highly inaccurate. And it's the ionized magnesium test that's accurate. A little more accurate is the red blood cell magnesium test. A little more than that is our red blood whole red blood cell test at grassrootshealth.net. No, you go to like Jenny said, go to rnareset.com and go under research project and order the test there. And why we're really focusing on this, Mary, is because we want people to go to one lab that we know where the tests are done the same way every time, so that when you get your test every 6 or 8 months, then you can be assured that it's not going to have all kinds of laboratory error. So our whole blood magnesium test is accurate. Now, I was looking at vitamin D the Grassroots Health has a vitamin D test, a single vitamin D test that a person can get. But I don't know if they have a single magnesium test. Possibly they do, but I think people they don't. Okay.
They don't, Carolyn, because we even tried to do that. No, they don't. Mm-mm.
Okay. So we want you to get all 4 tests, and the first testing you get it free. So just go ahead and do that. So in terms of the hair test being accurate, this is the trouble with the whole commercialization of the supplement industry and the test industry. Probably you heard from a hair analysis lab that blood testing for magnesium is not accurate. And as I said, yes, some of them aren't. But the hair test is no better. When I had a hair test just a couple of years ago to see if I was still anti-hair test, they couldn't figure out what,
You're so funny.
Do I still hate these tests? Yes. But I was so saturated that it threw all their ratios off. They didn't know what to do with me because I'm saturated. So they've developed all their analyses and all their ratios and everything on a population who's magnesium deficient. And there's no way they can bob and weave and change everything to give you any accuracy of information if someone has enough magnesium. I don't know if that comes across or makes any sense, but they just couldn't figure out what to do with me because my magnesium was so perfect.
Right,
So
and let me say this. Now, Mary typed a little later in the chat line that she falls asleep and she wakes up a few minutes later and then it takes her hours to get back to sleep again. And Carolyn, you've always told me that the reason why a lot of people have insomnia is because their body requires magnesium to perform its biological reset at night. And when there's no magnesium, the body just keeps waking itself up, asking itself for more magnesium. So when you start to get saturated, you will have very deep sleep, like Nancy, who said, I had very poor sleep. Remag restored my sleep. Take the therapeutic amounts and give it time, because it is going to get better, but it is going to take time. And use it when you need it most. And I think that's great advice. Thank you, Nancy M., for typing that into the chat line. But it's tricky, because a lot of times if you have a glaring symptom of like an insufficiency like that, then taking the test is, you don't even have to kind of worry about a test before you get started supplementing, right?
Oh, correct. We know that so many people are deficient, and we know that magnesium is so safe that you can begin it and start to see the inklings, or the hammer throw of how much it helps. We don't know what's going to happen with the individual. Someone can take a quarter teaspoon of Remag, which is 75 milligrams, and say their world had changed. We don't know why that is. Whereas someone like myself has to take 4 teaspoons of Remag for a year and a half to overcome my heart palpitations. I'm not one of these miracle overnight cures, but I could see enough advantage of what I was taking. I could see the improvement. I knew right away I was being helped, and most people will say that. Right away something improves. So it allows them to respect what they're doing and to not deny it. I mean, a lot of people, they'll start a nutrient and won't give it any time before they say, oh, it's not working. Whereas, a lot of our customers come to us on 24 different supplements and they're still suffering. And they say after they improve with our handful of supplements, they say, well, should I keep taking these other ones? And my quip is that, well, it didn't seem to be helping you before you came to us. So, why waste your money? And a lot of people say, they're saving money by just taking our handful. Now, our handful has become 2 handfuls of nutrients, right, Ginny? Because of the whole immunity conflict that's out there. If people want to protect themselves against viruses and want more support, then we're all for that. And that's where we are working with our Pico Silver, our Pico Zinc. We'll be having our D3 K2 reset. We have our whole C, vitamin C product, the food-based. We have our Remag, of course, and we'll be having an ascorbate powder and some sort of omega-3 as well, because all those support the immune system. And, I have my little pills all lined up. I don't like taking a lot of pills, but I know they're supporting me. So what I do, Ginny, I have cute little plastic bags, and on Tuesday during Bob's radio show, I just stand there in the kitchen and I line up all my bottles of supplements, and I pour out 7 days worth, on top of each of my 7 plastic bags, and I put them inside the bag, and I just grab a bag a day, and it makes it so simple. And I'm even doing that with my minerals. Because what I'm taking 2 teaspoons of Pico Silver because of my yeast. I'm taking a teaspoon of Remag, a teaspoon of Remite, a teaspoon of potassium. So that's 5 teaspoons a day, and I'm pouring those all up. So what I do is I calculate how many teaspoons that is for a week, pour it all into a measuring cup with a spout, and pour it into an empty Remag or mineral bottle, and just pour out 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons every day into my sea salted water and 2 ounces of cherry juice. That's my magnesium, not my magnesium, but my my mineral taste deterrent is the cherry juice these days. And I take that through the day. I swallow a bunch of vitamins with that cherry juice concoction, and the taste is fine. I don't even have to follow it with a swallow of plain sea salted water, but I do so that I can get my water in. So that's my regimen, whether you wanted to hear that or not, Ginny.
No, I think that's great. And I mean, it's a small price to pay for, I mean, people are staying in their houses and never freaking leaving. You know, there's so much fear, even with the people going back to work and all this. And now there's so much silly contradiction with all this testing and everything. But you have to know your face mask is on the inside of your body. It's called your immune system. And just to have that, right, have that confidence to be able to move about the cabin and not have to worry about it. My gosh, I'm out and about every single day blasting all over the place. I can't afford to sit home, you know?
Right. Yes, up at the market this weekend, more people are coming out, and one lady expressed her terror at being out, and it was just so sad to hear that she doesn't feel that she can take care of her health in the midst of all the fear-based media. I mean, the media bases its ability to to sell advertising and make its money through fear. Everything is fear-based in the media. So you got to realize that your fear is being manipulated by what's being said, and basically you support your immune system and do practical, healthy things. It's made us more aware of how sensitive we may be. I say it's made us aware that we've become a population that has been taking too many medications, eating too much sugar and processed food, and our immune system has become vulnerable. And it just is so frustrating to realize that the government is never going to tell you anything about how to support your immune system. Never. So with that deficiency of not telling us about vitamin C, vitamin D, silver, oh my gosh, they think silver is a poison, even though it's used for burns, for Pete's sakes. They wrap people in silver dressings. So, yeah, we're just trying to support your natural, innate immune system with the right building blocks. That's all.
Right, absolutely. And what other thing that I want to say, Carolyn, is that especially when it comes to this whole thing about the immune system, is people do have to be able to be confident. No, there you went. Yeah, people have to be able to be confident to leave their homes, and they also should be confident to know that their body's going to respond. Even like with the zinc and everything, their body is going to respond in an appropriate measure. You don't have to be saturating your body every single day with zinc. You just need to take enough to get your body where it needs to go. So, except Remag, you do have to be on forever. But who wouldn't want to be? I mean, who would not want to be on Remag forever? It's the best stuff in the whole wide world, and it's just so great because every time some stupid commercial comes across the television, you or your loved ones could have this. I'm like, nope, not today. We're not going to have that, you know, because you've got so much health protection in everything we're doing as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the more listeners we have, the more customers we have, they are all learning this. Oh, Bob is leaning over my microphone. What's up, Bob?
I've become so healthy the last 3 months. It's incredible. I now exhale on people as they walk by me on the way to the beach, as my RNA drops helps improve their health.
Oh, Bob, just had to get that in there. Thank you, Bob.
Very good, Bob. Excellent contribution. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Again, just a few minutes to the top of the hour. If you have a question or comment for Dr. Dean, you want to hit *9 on your keypad. *9 is going to raise your hand in the studio and let us know you have a question or comment. And I think we have one of our old visitors has found us, Carolyn. Let's see. Area code 267.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Kendall.
Oh, my gosh, Kendall. Hey, girl.
How are you?
We're good. We're really good. How are you?
I'm a mess, as usual. I was doing great. What I'm noticing is that my accomplishments are in intervals. So I'll have like a good 6 months, and then it'll just be like boom. So I'm in a boom right now. I'm constantly bugging Jenny. She's the best. But what's happening now is I am having the palpitations, and I wasn't taking my magnesium consistently like I usually do. I had kind of like slowed down a little bit, and I'm not sure whether something like dramatic happened, but I did notice like this time the palpitations came first, then the twitching. Normally I'll get twitches, like I'll know like a couple days before I get a palpitation. This time it's not like that. This time it's like I got the palpitations first, and now I'm getting the twitching. I did have an injury to my pelvic bone. I did something to my pelvic bone. I don't know. I was telling Jenny, like, I think maybe I inflamed it. Could that cause more palpitations? Because I've literally, for the past 7 days, been having them every day consistently. I might have like 2 or 3 a day. Sometimes it feels like the heart stops and then like it starts back up like a big boom. Sometimes it feels like a skip. Sometimes it feels like an extra, like they always feel different, but they're scaring me. My husband was like, well, you just need to go back to the cardiologist, but I don't want to go and further scare myself and put myself in further danger if I could just try to like, calm it down again.
Right. Well, you said it, Kendall. You weren't taking your Remag consistently, and that's what happens, It's human psychology that, I'm doing well, okay, I won't bother with this or that. So you get back on your Remag. Yes, if you have any sort of injury or any extra stress, it's going to use up more magnesium. I was also thinking it's probably time you went on our Pico Potassium because maybe that's one of the missing ingredients why you do well for 6 months and then boom. And it may be that in the 6-month period, we should put you on a calendar and phone you up and say, hey, Kendall, what are you doing? Are you taking your Remag, girl? Because who's taking care of you, right? You got your business, you got your family. Who's taking care of you? So it's just something you got to keep in mind. You're noticing the pattern, and you know what works. So, and I'm not going to tell you not to go to the cardiologist, but you get going on your Remag, you order the Pico Potassium, you keep in touch with Jenny, and I'm sure she's already told you all this stuff. And,
But let me ask you this. Like, I have read, and that's probably another reason why I'm so scared, is I read this, like, most recent article, I think it was, like, in 2018, and it said that if you start having more palpitations, like when you're exercising, when you're moving, that could be a sign of heart disease. Do you think that maybe it's a progression from me having palpitations so long that I could be possibly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you.
Worse?
Yeah. But when did you start with us? Was it like 4 or 5 years ago? Maybe 4 years ago?
Maybe like 4 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you, heaven forbid, if you had heart disease, you'd know it. Remag, if your heart symptoms are really, to my mind, a magnesium deficiency. And the fact that you can come back from it. But as I said, it may be that you need the potassium now to really get to why it comes back, besides the fact that you stop taking the Remag consistently.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try that again. I just needed a little more reassurance because I was like nervous. I really didn't want to go to a cardiologist because the first thing they try to do is give you a beta blocker, and then they always tell me when they offer it, like, well, this isn't going to make you feel better. It might slow down some of the computations, but it's going to make you feel horrible. So it's like, do I really want to risk it, or do I just want to rock out with my Remag, or do I just, or is something getting worse? So I just want to
Kindle. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Kindle, do both. Just get your heart rhythm back in order, get to where you're feeling good, then go to the cardiologist. They're open 365 days of the year, and you can go in there anytime. Go in when you're feeling good, when you're on top of your game, when you're trusting your body, when you know everything's okay, and then have them confirm what you already know. And don't go in when you're all freaked out and your heart's had an irregular beat for 7 days, and then, because you're just in anxiety of that. But you can get back into rhythm very easily, and I sent you that Pico Potassium, right?
Yes, I just got it.
Okay, so you have no excuses, and you got Remag, right?
Yep, got Remag.
Okay, well, I mean, you can get back into rhythm in no time, and you can use Pico Potassium the same way you can use Remag. You can use it on your skin. If you take some in orally, and then you put a little rub it over your chest on your heart, just like you do with the Remag, and get yourself back into rhythm, and then make an appointment with your cardiologist when you're feeling good, and go slay it.
Oh, I know that's right. Thank you.
Okay, and here's what you do. Do a meditation, not medication, and your meditation is, I have a magnesium deficiency. Don't even put in your mind, I don't have heart disease. Just put, I have a magnesium deficiency, and that's your meditation. And you're going to treat it. I have a magnesium deficiency, and I'm taking care of it. Boom. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks so much. I'll update y'all in a week. I'll call in on Monday and just let y'all know how I'm feeling.
Okay, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye, love.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, we love Kindle. Yay.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see where we're at. Now, Helena was asking, what is your vitamin D made from? I'm allergic to wool, and most vitamin Ds are made for lanolin, which I react to. But thanks to Dr. Carolyn Dean, who thinks it's creepy to take vitamin D that comes from sheep, she has made her vitamin D from natto. And so, yes, it's plant lichen. It's wonderful, and it's super delicious, and you're just going to love that. So that's perfect. And Jill also wrote in, Carolyn, and said, I'm 53 years old and I have blood pressure issues. Please refresh me and share the program. I've been taking 2.5 teaspoons of Remag daily, but have not been regular with the other products. So would it be the benefit, Carolyn, if we can go over what other things you'd recommend for her?
Well, see, this is the problem. Remag is not a drug, Jill. You can't just say, well, for blood pressure, take this. Because we have your age. I don't know your weight. I don't know your diet. I don't know your stress levels. I don't know if you're on medication. All these things do factor in. And that's why we have, about a dozen customer service people so that we can answer those questions without making it sound like Remag is a drug. And I know we're coming up to the top of the hour, and I'm sorry that I can't give you an answer, but I would rather have you email into support@rnareset.com and get a proper answer with proper attachments and books so you can read for yourself why we think most blood pressures are a magnesium deficiency. because when you're low in magnesium, the smooth muscles surrounding the arteries, they go into spasm. They tighten up. The arteries make them thinner, and that means the blood, pumping through those arteries has to pump through under higher pressure, and that's what blood pressure is. So hopefully that gives you a starting point for knowing why you require magnesium. But as for the 2.5 teaspoons, why it hasn't helped yet, there's so many possibilities, including the amount of time you've been taking the Remag. So I'll have to leave it like that for Jill, Ginny.
Okay, and also, can I just ask now, there is value in vitamin C for the arteries, right? Does it help lower blood pressure or no?
Yes, it does. I mean, what vitamin C is working to support the collagen, which is part of the arterial walls. People who have low vitamin C get scurvy, which is bruising, real bad bruising externally. Well, there's bruising inside, too, of the veins and the arteries. So vitamin C is very important to keep the arteries healthy.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, that's what I thought. And then we've got Remite vitamin B with the Realigns, very important for stress reduction. I mean, there's lots of things. So yes, absolutely. Support at rnareset.com. And anybody who's listening to the show archive at this point in the upcoming week or in the months or years to come, because everything is recorded and can all be known, always email us either at support@rnareset.com or also questions, questions, at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And either way, you're going to get a very caring and highly knowledgeable person who will walk you through the details of Carolyn's information, and also, if necessary, emailing directly with her about your concerns. Okay, let's see. Gosh, what a great show, Carolyn. We got so much good stuff in here. It's incredible. My goodness,
Yes,
what else do we
it is.
need to say? Realign is going to be back in stock in a couple weeks. Somebody asked that on the chat line, so that was a fun question. The RNA drops are back in stock. Oh my gosh, Carolyn, we almost went through the whole show and we didn't even tell anybody about what we're doing with Recalcia this week.
Oh my gosh, okay, go. 2 minutes, you got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. We are actually putting Recalcia on sale. So that everybody can have a super best Recalcia ever. And I think it's going to be 30% off or something. So you'll see the invitation come through with the coupon code. It'll happen sometime tomorrow, I believe. But I just want to say props out to Recalcia because I love that stuff. I don't have a lot of dairy in my diet. I don't eat much. I don't eat meat anymore anyway. And it's just so important. I personally love Recalcia. I take 2 teaspoons a day. I think it's great. When I don't take it, my legs cramp up, and that's how I know. So I'm very grateful for it. I think it's an excellent product. So we're going to have that on sale this week for all you calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D fans. And be sure to take advantage of that for sure.
That's so funny, Jenny. We're good marketers in a sense, and I suppose we're good salespeople, but imagine going through this whole show and not talking about a big sale we've got coming up. That's so silly. It really is.
That's how we do things.
I know.
That's how
right. That's how we roll. So yes, I have. There are 2 more questions here, but I'll do those by email. I really appreciate the people who send in these questions. They really help everybody who's listening, because when I answer, I try to make it sort of a general answer that anybody can appreciate. So we really depend on your questions in order to get our information across. So thank you very much.
Yes, and if you're enjoying the show, tell a friend and join us again next week. We will be back with more great information for you from Dr. Carolyn Dean.
You've been listening to the Dr. Carolyn Dean live radio show. For questions about today's broadcast, email Dr. Dean at questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com. That's questions@drcarolyndeanlive.com.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe.